Welcome to the Evolution Podcast. I'm Brandon Decremer from Evergreen Foundations on Skool.
I'm Christina Joy from Chaos to Clarity Lab, also on Skool.
And today we
And
are joined by Jesse Holmes. Welcome, Jesse.
thanks for having me, Brandon. Thanks for having me, Christina.
Yep. Thanks for being here.
We are super excited because actually you have a topic that you love to talk about. We actually jumped on a call and you super impressed me with how you approach this. So I wanted to get you on the podcast to talk about that scary word that all online entrepreneurs probably hate hearing, lead generation. It's the thing they're chasing. It's the thing they may be afraid of. Um, and I'm just ready to get right into it. How do you approach lead generation these days, Jesse?
Oh man, there's so many different ways to generate a lead these days, and sometimes it feels very unpredictable, very chaotic, very crazy. Sometimes you don't know where your next lead is coming from. And so what I developed was my own little three-part system for generating leads for myself, for my clients. It doesn't require having to run ads or doesn't require any AI or even having to create content or anything like that. It's very relational based. It's very uh, human personally based. It's service based. It's service over, service before selling. And it's very, it's in a way that I like to be able to build rapport, build relationships the way I like to generate leads because I know that I can, serve or help almost everybody I hop on a call with just by giving them value first. And yeah, that's really been my focus the last little while.
Love that. And I think coming from a relational space, I know Christina, you can jump in here. We hear a lot. We're in a business building cohort. A lot of people on Skool have Skool communities. They're trying to get their visibility out there. And you hear it a lot where people almost avoid sales these days. And in your three-step process, it seems like you kind of cut out that process of slimy sales and get right down to relational, shining lights on other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's service over slime, and it's very much like other people's focused. It's the main premise of how I lead gen, especially if you're in a B2B space, is reach out to someone else who has a business and say like, hey, tell me more what you do. Let me see if I can send some business your way. Let me see how I can help you. Like lead by trying to help serve the other person first and foremost. And when you come with that perspective, that angle, one, everybody wants to give you a few minutes of their time, which is great because attention is at a all-time scarcity right now with so many things that are distracting us. Trust is at an all-time low. So being able to have just a brief one-to-one with somebody to get them to know, like, and trust you and being able to serve them and help them, for me, that's like the foundation of how I like to generate leads for my business.
So how does this play out? What does it look like? Like when you start to work with a client, how does that start? How do you move through the beginning of your client process, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have my three-part process is um, developed over. I've been a serial entrepreneur for like 20 years. I've started a number of different companies. My last business, I scaled to like 8 figures in sales. And one of the main reasons was because the ability to generate leads. And what I found with a lot of my clients, they really struggle like booking qualified appointments. So my three-step process is very simple. Step one is having a predictable way to book a call. Um, that's like if you do more, you get more. You do less, you get less. It's very controllable, very predictable, like turning on and off the faucet. And what I came up with to make booking calls predictable is what I call an irresistible DM. Now, it could be a DM, it could be a text message, it could be an email, it could be on Facebook, LinkedIn, social media, WhatsApp. It doesn't matter. But what it really means is it's like a short message, 30 words or less, that gives your ideal client an exciting reason to book a call with you. It's a formula I've used. I've booked hundreds of calls with it. I have clients booking 15 to 18 appointments a week with it. It's pretty plug and play for most markets, but it really starts with this personal one-to-one outreach. No AI, no spam, no like, hey, here's what I do. Love me, like pay attention to me. It's all about like, hey, tell me what you do. Let me see how I can help serve you. Let's find a time where we can get together and chat and serve one another. That's kind of like the first part of this process. It's all about service and others focused.
What's the next part?
What's the next part? That's a great question.
Not to give away the secret sauce, but to stay on the first part really quick,
Yeah.
I've seen this a lot. I jump on a lot of lead magnets. The last 3 years, I've probably been on, probably 1,000. I don't even know. I talk to
Mm.
everyone I can to see what people are doing. I'm obsessed with this industry, and that's why I got into the B2B side. And I love it. I feel like I'm actually cared about when somebody's takes the time to look at my profile, takes time to maybe watch a few things that I'm doing and what I'm about, and then genuinely wants to know more. Like you
Mm.
reached out and said, "Hey, I love that you're a Christian creator. I love the business that you're in. I would love to see how I can show you to my audience." That to me right away, I wasn't even thinking about what does you do. I'm like, oh, that's awesome that he's gonna like wants to show me to the audience. So I kudos to you. I love that way. It really works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when I work with my clients, I'll pretty much just like I'll customize this irresistible DM for their specific market. Whatever context they need to add for it. It's pretty formulaic and simple, but I'll just like customize it for their specific audience and their plan. So that's the
Nice.
first step. The first step is the outreach message. The second step is okay, someone shows up and they're on a call. We need to build that know, like, and trust. We need to build it quickly. We need to build that rapport and relationship. And what I find is one of the best ways to do that is just give some sort of immediate value. And one of the ways I like to do that is I love just giving interviews. I love just having a short, quick little interview with somebody, get to know more about what they do, who they help, who they serve, who they're wanting to help next, how they can, be best reached and things like that. And then putting them in front of my audience. It's a win-win. When I tag and share them to my audience, it taps into their network, they tap into my network. It's free exposure, and we really just get to build that relationship and know each other a little bit more.
Gotcha. So you interview, do you have a podcast or do you do just like a video interview? Like how does that work? What do you got? Where do you
Yeah,
I want to
it's
hear
like
all.
it's like a quick like 3 to 5 minute video. I'll share it to whatever socials that they're most active on. If they're most active on LinkedIn, I'll post it to LinkedIn. If they're most active on Facebook, I'll post it on Facebook or whatever have you. But it's whoever, best serves the other person that I'm talking to. But yeah, usually I'll hop on a call. I'll say, hey, tell me more about what you do. Let me see if I can send some business your way. They'll share what they do, and then I'll be like, hey, can I record a quick interview with what you do with my audience? And I'd be, yeah, absolutely, sounds good. And then we'll bang out a quick interview right then and there. Make sure I'm connected with them on whatever socials works for them. I'll tag and post and share it with them, as soon as I get, as soon as the video is downloaded and edited and things like that. And then we can kind of go from there. And people usually what most people say immediately after that interview is done is like, wow, thank you. How can I help you? How can I, I mean, it just
Want to be
triggers
on
that
my podcast?
reciprocity. Yeah, exactly. Right. Hey, proofs, proofs in the pudding. Right. And so it
Yep.
just triggers that it triggers that reciprocity. And that's so important to be able to have someone be like, hey, how can I help you and serve you in return? Instead of being like so about me focused and try to force myself on people, you turn the tables completely and they're actually interested in leaning in and be like, wow, this is amazing. How can I serve and help you in return?
Yeah, I love that it already, like you haven't even given us number three yet. And already in one and two, there's so much value in both of those things. Like helping someone to even craft that irresistible DM. In my head, I'm like, what would mine even be? And because I don't think I've found it. I'm just
Mm,
saying, I don't think I found that special sauce yet. So I see the value in that and just having a human who can literally sit next to you, hold your hand a little bit and be
mm,
like, look, this is great. This isn't so great, and really look at your particular product. That's a
mm,
really awesome thing to be able to offer. And then also that interview, and that's something that happens on this podcast. And what I love about being able to do this with Brandon, because Brandon's really the one who's in charge here. I mean, that's he's the one in charge here. I don't say that very often in many situations I'm in, but he runs this ship well, and the people that he brings on are people who are doing things that he really believes in, and he's got a moral compass that I appreciate. And so I'm always
mm,
like, oh my God, who's our guest going to be? Who do we get to talk to? Who do we get to meet? And what I love about it is we are able to draw out of people, what they do and why they're good at what they do and feel their energy too, and then share
mm,
that with our
mm,
people. And I think that
mm.
that's phenomenal. And I love that you do that too. And you do it right there in like a discovery call, basically, and you're like, well, I'm doing this interview and I'm going to sell him something at the end, maybe, but I'm going to create this cool thing for him in the meantime while I'm doing it. And I think
Yeah,
that's pretty slick and I love it. And it's not slick in a
yeah.
bad way. It's not slimy. It's
You know
Thank you,
what?
thank you. Appreciate that.
I was doing the first two kind of by accident for a while. When
Mm,
we started Evergreen Foundations and it was on Skool, I always wanted to do guest calls. Like, hey, you have an awesome story. Come into the community. Then last January, we did the summit where we did 30 guest calls all January. And I was doing this without intentionally or like identifying that I was doing this, right? but just like putting lights on other people and saying, hey, I think your story is great. Let's highlight it. I want to show it to my audience because I want them to feel that value too. It really creates that network synergy like pretty fast
Mm,
with somebody.
yeah, absolutely. Fully agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Christina,
So,
you alluded to it. It's like, okay, well, this is where that transition part happens. You've shown up, you've got someone on a call, you've served them first and foremost, given them value right away. They've triggered that reciprocity. Now, how do you make that seamless transition to, your own products and services to see maybe if they're a good fit, or maybe they know someone that is a good fit? And this is where that qualify and conversion, aspect comes in. And what I like to do is, instead of saying, oh, here's what I do, here's how I help people. What I like to do is I like to do a little bit of research. I say, you know what, like I'm working on some content to help people with X, Y, and Z. Can I ask you a couple of questions to see, what you would find useful? And people are like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, of course. And then you just ask them a simple question like, okay, well, when it comes to X, what would you change? So, for instance, my question is, if you could change one thing about your lead generation, what would you change? And just getting them thinking of like, you know what, I would change this, 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 and if they have something that they want to change, I ask them, "Were you open to a different perspective on this?" And they're like, "Yeah, totally." And at that way, that's that seamless transition into like, okay, well, here's what I do, here's how I do it, here's like what my products and services look like. But now this has been like a seamless transition into an actual presentation of how I work and how I offer, but in a way that people don't feel pitched to. I had someone the other day being like, "Whoa, like I am I being pitched right here? I didn't even know that you're selling me anything. This was awesome. This was great. Like I love this." And it's just because you're leading with value and service and caring about the other person first and foremost, instead of like me, let me sell you all my stuff and things like that. It's just a little bit of a different frame, different little perspective shift that's made a big difference in how I present myself, how I sell myself, and how I, even generate clients for myself.
Give me your flowers on this too, because honestly, the way you did it, you just presented that you had a group that would help solve something that I talked to you about, right? And you
Mm,
just presented like it as in like, yeah, that exists, but let's continue to talk about your views on lead generation, why you think you're stuck. Like you just kind of like dipped it in there in such a way where I was like, that was nice. Like, because
yeah.
for me, right after that, I talked to you about the podcast. I got distracted. I'm an ADHDpreneur squirrel. We totally like circumvented it, but then I came back and went, how many people are in it? You said like 60 something, right? You told me like, I was like, oh, nice. After we got off the phone, I scheduled the podcast with you. Right away, I went, man, I think I want to be in that group. Like, really, I love that when you say seamless transition, when
Mm,
you do that seamless transition correctly, you get
mm,
that person knowing what your offer is, but not
mm,
knowing they're being offered. And then they go, I kind of
right.
want to be in that. Like, that sounds
Mm,
like it's something for me. Why didn't
mm.
he just say it was for me? Like that's kind of the feelings that come out. So I love that strategy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
so I'm interested in what this third thing is.
Oh yeah. So the third thing was that seamless transition uh from they've hopped on the
Ah,
call, we've given them that value. Now that seamless transition into exactly their urgent problems, if they're open to a different perspective, and then presenting your specific offer. So like walking through your framework, your three pillars of success, things like that. But it's just a way that makes it so seamless, so congruent in a way that's just like, again, people don't even feel like they're being pitched to because they asked you, how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do for you? And you did a little bit of that research on understanding what they would change about a specific problem, if they're open to a different perspective. And if they say yes, it's like, okay, cool. Like I have their permission now. They're leaning in, they're listening. They have it, they're open for a different perspective. And then when you present what you have to offer, it just comes across so much more less slimy, more service based.
yeah, I can totally see how that would be. And in that little bit of time in the beginning, you've already found out so much about them. You found out what
Mm-hmm.
matters to them. And what I've definitely learned in working with my clients is that what's more important is that I shut up,
Mm-hmm.
listen to what other people are telling me, because that's how I'm gonna, and that's in the beginning. This could be like whenever I'm in a discovery call, but it's also while I'm working with a client. I need
Mm-hmm.
that information
Mm-hmm.
almost more than they need the information from me. And a lot of
Mm,
times what I found is that by clients sharing, and I mean, I met even in lead gen, I guess this would be similar, but in clients sharing with me, sometimes they come up with their own solutions. Sometimes
mm,
they solve their own problem, or that aha where they're saying it and then they're like, and you see it happen in their face, you know? That's an interesting thing to me. So I bet you get to see that. I bet you
oh
get to
yeah.
see that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love seeing the light bulb turn on, even without me even saying a word, just by asking some of the right questions. And they're like, kind of like, you know what? After our conversation, you inspired me to do this, this, this. I'm like, did I? Like, I didn't inspire you to do anything. Like, you did it all on yourself. But yeah, just by following this process, you see a lot of light bulbs turn on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think that that also, when people realize that they can open up and be real with you and be honest with you, and you've given them that space, you're holding that space for them.
Mm,
And some people don't ever have that space to talk about what their problem is. I hate
mm,
lead generation.
mm,
Brandon knows this. Like, I can't stand it. I love
mm,
meeting people. I love
mm.
hearing about people's businesses. I love talking to people. Like, I do love all that. I get super stoked about like what people do. But I
Just do
don't,
that. That's like,
Mm.
why does lead generation have to be a separate thing? Just
Yeah,
right.
do
that's
that
pretty much
because
it.
the
Yeah,
worst case scenario, you're fresh on someone's mind in a network. So you're going to
yeah.
come up with like, talk to everybody. I don't know. It doesn't have to be lead gen. Like,
Mm,
yeah, that's how I look at it.
Just talk to all
yeah,
the
I agree.
people.
Yeah,
Just
just
talk
talk to
about
all the
people.
people. And then
Talk.
eventually, some of those people are going to go, huh, tell me more. What do you do again?
Mm,
I mean, just, yeah.
I have a question.
yeah.
So, when you are uh, um like when you're finding the people that you're going to DM, you're going to send them
Mm,
this like super hot
mm,
DM, this sexy DM that they're like, "Oh my God, I
mm,
got to get on the phone with this guy."
mm.
What how do you pick those people? Like, how do you just send it to everybody, or do you have kind of a process about that too?
You can send it to everybody if you want to go like volume route. I'm more of a quality over quantity type guy. I like protecting my time and my sanity. So there's a couple criteria I look for. One, are they active? Are they, whether you're in a networking group or a school group or whatever, are they active? You mean, are they actively involved? Are they online often and things like that? That's a big one. Two, are they open to connect? Does it seem obvious that they're open for conversations? Some people will say, DM me if this resonates or this and everything. Or I'm looking to connect with certain people. Like if people are open for conversation, that's the best time to send a DM, right? Otherwise, you're just an unwanted guest or unwanted pest, and you're like, why'd you send me this DM? But if they're open, willing to connect, and they're active, those are the first two things. And the third thing is, do they fit the profile of what your client would usually look like? There's everyone kind of knows what their ideal client looks like as far as like, they either have this problem or they look like this or they serve this industry. People have a pretty decent feel of the profile of the type of person they like to work with. So for me, the person's active, if they're looking to connect and they fit my profile, those are the type of people that I like to reach out to with the message.
How often, hold on, I have a cat trying to climb me right now. Um,
Yeah.
how often do you, how often are you sending out those DMs? Like if you're in, and where are you? Like what platforms are you on when you do it?
Yeah, so it doesn't even really matter the platform. It's I've sent messages I'm in some WhatsApp groups, I'm in school groups, I'm in Facebook groups, I'm on LinkedIn, my old Rolodex emails, text messages, like it's really just the messaging. It's like a human to human messaging that's really important. It's not really important where the hey,
Yeah.
where the profiles are. And I just have a daily minimum. I say, every single day I have to send out at least one DM every single day. And sometimes just like the habit of getting started, that's the biggest hurdle. Sometimes I'll send up to 5 or 10, but as long as I have that daily minimum of like, every single day, reach out to someone and have a conversation to learn more about someone else's business and try to help and serve someone else.
And a lot of stuff we talk about, like in a cohort and like in a classroom and stuff, and Point Eight Collective, Christina, like the way I do outreach is really good for this. Like going to their profiles, making sure that like they are somebody you can tell pretty fast by somebody's profile,
Mm,
especially if they're active, and especially like I do B2B, but also I do B2C, right? Like I do the holistic health living. I can
mm,
kind of see if somebody's like open to wellness growth by
mm,
going through an open public profile pretty
mm,
fast. You can see if people are negative, if they're constantly blaming other people, and I stay away from those ones. Or if it's people that are sharing health conscious things and stuff like that, I'll pop in and give them a message of like, have you ever tried holistic wellness on this topic? Or usually in the comments, right? Like if they're saying something in a, have you tried the holistic route? Is one of my favorite like one line sentences that I'll drop in the comments because it's something that gets people to think. It's something to might get people to go, what is that? Or yes, I have, or whatever it may be. So that's like a one liner I'll drop into the comments. And if they comment back to me, DMs are open fields. That's the way I treat it.
Yeah, I love that.
So
So yeah, I have like a daily minimum, and then so my whole thing is we have like a small group that holds each other accountable every Monday at like 1 p.m. Eastern, where we just do it together. It's like, all right, get everyone in a group. All right, who are we reaching out to? You know, Phil, it's your turn. Who are we reaching out to with a message right now? All right, Aaron, your turn. And we just kind of go around the room, make introductions for everyone that's there, and then just say, hey, who are we outreaching right now? Let's book some appointments. Let's fill our calendar. Let's fill our pipeline for the week. We kind of set our weeks like up for success kind of thing. It's like a little accountability ownership container kind of thing.
I
and
love that.
is everybody using the same structure then? Like, do you have a lot of B2B coaches? How does maybe we have a lot of B2C, like holistic wellness mindset coaches, business coaches, yes, but in our audience is a lot of all across the board, right? Life coaches. How would somebody take that irresistible DM into, say, a not business to business, coach to coach kind of offer, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple of people that are in that industry as well that they serve. They serve the healers, the therapists, holistic things like that. And the tweak is just instead of trying to find out more about the other person's business or trying to serve the other person's business, you just show a genuine interest in them as a person. It's like, hey, let's find a time you can tell me more about like what you do and like what you're working like your approach to this method, and I'll see if I can send some resources or help or insight or things like that. Just like again, just trying to serve them on a human level for where they're at and what their needs are instead of the here's who I am, here's what I do, here's what I sell.
Do you have, whenever you do send out a DM and they respond to you, are you pretty quick to ask them to get on a call, or do you just kind of organically let it happen and
No,
see where it goes?
the call
Yeah,
is pretty much offered in the first DM.
it's in the first DM. Like
Oh,
literally the
gotcha.
first DM is like, let's find a time to chat kind of thing. Like it's right to the point. Because if they don't have time to talk or not willing to set aside time, they're probably not going to be, a good fit or interested or qualified. But if they're like, hey, yeah, absolutely, I would love to find like there's no more powerful way to build a relationship with somebody than in like a 5-10 minute Zoom chat. Like that's at least in today's day and age, there's no way to build rapport quicker than just like, hey, let's hop on a call real quick.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
every call is, if as long as you're serving, giving, and if they're a good fit, then they might become a client. But usually, someone will know somebody as well. Like every call is never wasted time because you're going to get another introduction to somebody else. Like you're always going to be generating more interest and leads just by matter of fact of like, hey, I know you weren't a good fit for this, but like you might know someone that is. Like that's if you can send me an intro on an email intro and things like that. It always leads to more leads just by following this process.
And most humans, right, when they're given something or they're felt like they're given something, they feel warm and fuzzy and good inside, like they just got something they didn't expect.
Mm,
Most of us want to give back.
yeah.
If it's joining the program, getting the results, is that our way of giving back? Or is it, hey, I know someone that would be a good fit? Or, I mean, look, it's Jesse's on the podcast. Like I was like, hey, you could tell my audience this in the cohort. Like I got all excited, right? Like, so anything can come. It might not be that sale, but it
Mm,
might be something down the road. So I think there's a no lose lose to strategies
mm,
like instant networking things. And what I love about this is it takes out DM scripts and how I get to here and sending these 50 DMs and then an hour discovery call. Literally one DM, 10 to 15-minute connection, see where it goes. Like it's
yep.
pretty easy, foolproof to your schedule too.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. I had to go through all that before refining this process. I was on those long DM chains and hopping on hour-long calls and 2 or 3 conversations and wasting hours and hours of time. Now it's just like within the first 5-10 minutes, I can know pretty quickly if this person is going to be a good fit or how we can serve each other. And growth happens so much quicker when you just have that focused intentional.
And honestly, I think the AI component is going to help this strategy. And here's why.
Mm, mm,
Because everything is going to be AI agents, email, AI's emailing you, AI's DMing you, everything. Now, this is your human, quick, hey, I'm a human. Here's the message. Do you want to connect more? Sure, sounds great. Then you connect with the human. Like I think everything being so automated and so not real human connection, this quick process is going to legit mean more, in my opinion.
yeah, it's going to have a lot more weight and authenticity to it. I agree. And I just think it's like if you're in a coaching business or you're working like client facing, why would I not want to invest just a few minutes to get to know a person on a human to human level if I want to serve them as a client? Why would I say the first interaction I want to have with this person is a robot? Like that doesn't seem personal or real. Where's the authenticity in it? Where's the service in it? Where's the care for who they are as a person? If it's just like, yeah, I had a robot send out a thousand messages to people and you were just the one of them that responded to it instead of like, hey, you're a real person. Let me try and serve you. Let me try and find out more about you. Let me try and help you. And if you're a client, we have a good starting relationship. And if you're not a client, well, maybe we can point each other in a different direction. But it's just yes, it sacrifices some of that AI automation laziness maybe that's indwelt in every human being, but it replaces it with authenticity and human connection.
But nobody knows anything different. No coach, no consultant, no guru. Nobody knows anything different. We all have access to the same freaking information, even the clients. Like nobody is special
Mm,
until you connect with that person. That person you hire, for me, I have to connect with them first. I'm not going to
mm,
pay for somebody that I clicked on a page, even if it's great. I don't care. Name, insert, big top dog, Tony Robbins, right? Like, I don't just want to hire somebody, especially for a one on one or a group aspect, off of a landing page that a robot builds. I want to get on
mm,
a call and know that that person is going to invest in me as much as I'm going to invest in them. And I
mm.
can't do that by talking to a fake version of them that
All
they
right.
that they created with ChatGPT. I need to do that face to face. So I love how it keeps that into it when everyone's going automation.
Yeah, I
Can
love
we
that.
just talk about how we go from an hour-long discovery call, which would be like an hour-long consult, all the way down to 5 minutes? Can we talk about how that works? Because that would
Yeah,
help
absolutely.
me out a lot. Because I want to know all the
Absolutely.
things about people. So I'm like, this question, that question, I'm
Mm,
listening. And it's like an hour
mm,
almost
mm,
every time.
mm. Yeah. It's really just getting down to what are the most important questions to know about a person. It is nice to dive deep and to know everything about a person. I guess it depends on. I need to know a little bit more about you, actually, Christina. Like, who are you serving? What do your discovery calls look like? Who are some of your clients? Let me understand a bit so I have more context for this.
So I'm a business operations consultant. And
Okay.
so I can work with like a solopreneur, but really like my good spot is working with a small team.
Okay.
By small team, that could be like 5 people to like 25, 30 people, right? And so whenever I do get on a call for the first time with someone, it's usually to figure out, okay, what is the size of your business? What is your business? How are you generating income and how much are you generating? And how much of that is you know, how are you tracking things is the other thing I want to understand. Like I want to get down into some of that nitty-gritty stuff so that I understand the level of like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to because one of my things is that I really want to talk to every employee, almost every employee.
Mm, mm,
And that is important to me in operations because to make sustainable change in a business that's already rolling, you got to talk to the people. You got to incorporate
mm,
how the people operate. And what I'll find my first round through everybody is that there are a number of things that they're doing that they think they need to do for this other person or for this other thing that they actually don't even need to do at all. And so
mm,
just by the first round of talking to everybody, I'm able to eliminate a whole list of things that don't need to be happening at all anymore. Um,
mm,
but I guess the point is that I want to know in that first discovery call if, you know, if I'm going to be able to work with this person in that way, because some
mm,
owners, they don't want you talking to their people. Or
Mm,
they say they want you talking to their people and then they really don't. And so I really want to like feel them all the way out so I know that because I can't help them if they're not going to let me in at that level.
mm, mm.
And so
That's a good point.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
so it would be really important to understand, one, what is the urgent problem that you're looking to solve for them that they're experiencing? Two, are they open to a different perspective on it? Like that's very, very important. Like if so here's my process, how it works. Hop on a call, give immediate value in terms of like an interview or things like that. I'll transition into, I'm working on, I'll work on some content about XYZ. So for instance, what would be the urgent problem that you solve for your clients, Christina?
Um, Usually it's some back end disorganization.
Okay.
That would really be it. Just back end everything feels on fire half the time, and you can't really figure out why, and everybody's leaving work stressed. And so
Mm.
that's the problem that I want to help solve on the back end.
Okay. So then you'd be like, I'm working on some content, helping companies when their teams, streamline and optimize their back end. Can I ask you a couple questions to see what you'd find useful? Yeah. Okay, cool. To start, if you could change one thing about your back end organization, what would you change? And get them thinking about, oh, I would change this and I would change that, and this is a problem, and this is a problem, that's a problem. And after they shared that with you, okay, cool. Would you be open to a different perspective on this? And when I say, yeah, I'm open to a different perspective, then you can present, okay, well, here's my 3-step process for how I clean up, the back end for people. I do this, I do this, I do that, and present it as a uh, a thing to get started. And you can have like a very low barrier to entry, easy to work with. Like, hey, just to get started, it's a couple X amount of dollars, a couple $100 for a retainer just to get started. Like, get paid up front, maybe in a small thing to be able to go deeper and get paid to do deeper discovery and all that kind of stuff, would be a method or a thing that I would suggest, is just so you're getting paid for your time to do that deeper dive, almost like charging for an organizational audit or things like that. But selling that part, so when you do spend your time doing that deep dive, you're getting paid for it. They're a little bit more invested in it, and now you have the permission, to get in there a little deeper.
Gotcha. So I have that discovery call, and then I basically ask by the end to like do more discovery with them that they pay me
That's
for.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
that's
Yep.
great. Before I even promise to solve any problems,
That's right. That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
One of
Yep.
the things I've done in the past is I've offered like something actually kind of similar to that now that I'm thinking about it,
Mm.
where I do that and then I give them kind of like, this is the roadmap that you should
Just
be
a roadmap.
working.
Yeah.
And then, hey, do you need somebody to
To help
work
implement
that roadmap?
it.
You need somebody to implement all of this, you know? And
That's
so,
right. That's right.
um, so yeah, I guess that's something I've already kind of done before. Just hadn't really thought
Yeah.
about it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing by bringing Jesse on here today.
Yeah.
Any other like last few questions or anything like that, or some last few thoughts?
So you got your group, you got your group on through WhatsApp, and I'm sure you do other platforms and stuff like you said. Do you have what is like the deeper level working with you after besides for group?
So we have the group is really meant for that accountability and like just getting off the ground. Like, okay, this is the time I set aside every week to do the outreach, fill my calendar, book those appointments, get the process under their belt, and meeting a whole bunch of other cool people. If people want to work with me on a further level, like, oh, you need help either developing the offer or refining things and work on a little bit more personal basis, I have options and packages for that. But really, right now, my main focus is building up that group to a because there's about 49 members in there right now, looking to build that up a little bit higher than that, just to get that value for everybody and get a sense of that community going and getting a lot more case studies and success stories. So far, the success stories have been amazing, but I'm just trying to get as many as humanly possible, which is why I'm doing that introductory rate that I shared with you the other day, to build that up as much as possible. And then I've done high ticket coaching into that as well on a more personal basis and stuff like that. But my focus right now is really the group.
Is that group on Skool or is it somewhere else?
It's a private WhatsApp group, and then we meet on Zoom once a week,
Oh,
Mondays at
cool.
1 p.m. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Nice. So Jesse, I appreciate you stopping by. Is there any platforms, links that you want people to look for you specifically? I know I found you on Facebook or you found
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. If you go to my website, effortlessgrowth.co, that'll just redirect you to my Facebook profile. You can see some of the work and the things that I've done on there, some of the interviews that I've done with other clients, and then add me, follow me, and I'll probably send you my irresistible DM as soon as you you add me on Facebook. So I'll take it over from there.
And
Awesome. Well, I think I already followed you earlier, so I'm looking forward to that DM.
All right, perfect. It's coming your way as soon as I'm done this
Hey,
call.
Hey.
find Jesse on any platform that you're on. Type in his name, look for him, check out his website. His like do his interviews. They're pretty awesome. I think we had a great connection. I look forward to connecting more, Jesse, in the future. As always, like, subscribe, follow, do all that jazz. As Christina and I, hey, we didn't forget anything we were talking about today. That's a win for us. As Christina and I are joined by guests every week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm Brandon Decremer from Evergreen Foundations on Skool.
And I'm Christina Joy from Chaos the Clarity Lab.
Thanks, Jesse. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.